You want burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and ribs. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
So, would you rather burp or fart?
Burp or fart? I'm thinking burp.
Is that more relieving?
Yeah,
for
that's
you?
more relieving.
Right.
And a question that arises. A good question: do ghosts actually burp or fart? Judging by our friend Slimer, it would definitely they do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, would they like? Is there ghost farts in the middle of the night? Do you hear
Well, are ghosts made out of gaseous material?
ectoplasm and stuff? Like they say, they I think they talk about that in this movie.
Okay, but like, is that like gases? I don't know.
I suppose so.
Know.
I don't fucking know. I'm not a Ghostbuster.
So, if they're made of gaseous material, then they are ultimately a fart? And they just are a fart and a burp.
Fart busters.
That would be you.
That would be me in the middle of the night, just busting farts, y'all.
I don't know that I've ever heard you fart in the middle of the night.
Busting makes me
definitely-
feel good. Who's excited? Are you excited?
No.
I am so fucking giddy. I don't know why either. Because you would never think I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. But doing this, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm one of those people. I am a giant Ghostbuster fan. But not for the same reason as everybody else is, apparently, because there are some people that take this very seriously.
I didn't even know
What?
that there are people that just love this movie so fucking much.
Like a lot. But like I said, there are some that are just, y'all need to calm down. Let's relax and realize what it is that we're enjoying before we like threaten to kill each other on the internet.
Right?
That's weird. That's
a lot of people might be surprised to know that I actually have not seen this movie.
No, you've never seen this, but and
No.
we're gonna get into it. But welcome to Night of the Horror File,
Hey.
a horror movie and genre film podcast where I take a horror movie or genre film and show it to my beautiful wife Brittany, who then gives us her input. Sometimes she enjoys these things, and sometimes she absolutely cannot stand them. But what did we watch this week, even though we've already announced it twice?
I think it's Ghostbusters.
And we watched Ghostbusters. That's right. Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, everybody's singing the theme song right now. It has to be. It's in my head just constantly. I was cooking dinner. I'm fading no ghost. I burned myself. All right, anyway.
You know what? I not once thought about the theme song or the movie since I watched it.
No, see? Oh, we're going to see what you thought about this when we get there. But no, it's been a long time coming. A lot of people have asked us to do this movie on the show, which I get it. I totally get it. Ghostbusters was like made for this fucking show. It's comedy, it's horror, it's a good time. Not made for this show though. No.
Is it horror?
Elements. So we'll talk about it. We'll get into it because there has been debate by mostly a bunch of ghost bros, is what the internet's calling them, I guess.
Ghost bros.
Yeah. Mostly for those cretins of the internet that we all despise. There has been some hubbub about whether today's film is actually a comedy, a horror movie, or what,
Okay. I will give my opinion at the end of what.
I didn't think a conversation about like what Ghostbusters is, aside from it's Ghostbusters, was ever needed, but apparently the internet thought it was. So anyway, we'll discuss that as we go through the movie. But the hardest part of today's episode is trying to find something to say about Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters that hasn't already been fucking said.
True.
I mean,
true.
In fact, I could say this. I have so much knowledge about this fucking movie that I could do a whole other part 2 on this. Like,
nobody needs that.
This was insane. When I sat down and I wrote our episode, I didn't think it was going to go on that long. You know, I really didn't think it was going to be too big because I was like, well, it can't be bigger than The Shining. We did The Shining. It was like 3 hours long, you know.
If this is 3 hours long, I'm going to commit.
I swear this is not going to be 3 hours long.
Homicide.
I hope. Because in fear of divorce, you know.
I told you earlier.
Yeah, in fear of divorce, I'm going to try to keep things as brief and interesting as possible.
I have the divorce papers ready in my back pocket.
But needless to say, you know, you can go and you can look up all sorts of making of features, all sorts of books written about this movie.
Books?
There are books. There are all sorts of shit. You can find everything you need to know about the making of. So I'll try to keep the behind the scenes stuff as interesting as possible and as
not as minimal as possible.
Okay, I tried as minimally as possible, but I have so much to talk about today that it's not even funny. But now the idea for a group of New York, just regular Joes going to fight ghosts comes from a very Canadian place. Dan Aykroyd. Now, Aykroyd has a very healthy fascination with the paranormal. I mean, for good reason. Even as a child, his dad wrote a book called A History of Ghosts. His mother claimed to have firsthand experience with ghosts. This went all the way back to his grandfather, who experimented with radios in order to contact the dead, and his grandfather, who was a known spiritualist in his time. So you could say the fascination is totally in his blood. Now, I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance to listen to Dan Aykroyd talk about the paranormal, listen. It's amazing. I love last podcast on the left, which is a huge inspiration on this show. They did an interview with him that's fucking phenomenal. Like, I love how deep his thought goes and how down to earth his thinking is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, when Dan Aykroyd explains the paranormal to you, you believe it. He could flesh out a ghost or like a fucking ghost to me, and I'd be like, no, I'm not skeptical no more, y'all. Ghosts are real.
Dan Aykroyd told me so.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why today's movie feels so kind of realistic when it's not. It shouldn't feel that way at all. It shouldn't feel down to earth.
Okay.
I can already tell Brittany's disagreeing completely.
I'm listening to you. I am listening to what you have to say. Are you a ghost bro now?
No. I'm not. It's Ghostbusters. I'm not going to defend this with my life. Like, if somebody doesn't like Ghostbusters, it's totally okay. It's totally okay. Because again, keep in mind, this is a fun movie about dudes chasing ghosts. Like that's what it boils down. Keep that in mind, people. Do not kill your family over Ghostbusters.
It's not worth it.
But yeah, I've actually written his manager to see if we can get him on the show sometime. I think that would be fucking phenomenal to talk the paranormal with Dan Aykroyd.
That'd be cool.
So ghosts and comedy was always on his mind. You know, I mean, he's been a comedian for years too. You know, and the idea of capturing them actually came from an article Aykroyd had read on quantum physics of parapsychology in the Journal of American Society for Psychical Research, which, god damn, every time you deal with the paranormal and the official groups, those names are so drawn out. It's not the shit is like
I know they're like talking in this movie, and I'm like, that's a lot of words.
Yeah, a lot of that is actual real terms. Like, that's another thing that makes this feel more realistic. I used the word realistic. What I mean is the feeling of it.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I get you.
Okay, wait.
I get you.
Now,
do I agree?
I understand.
It's a different story.
Now, when Aykroyd sat down to write this, his original idea was for him and his co-stars from SNL to star in it. Eddie Murphy and, of course, longtime friend John Belushi, who had been in movies with Aykroyd already, like The Blues Brothers, which is another one of my favorite comedies. However, not long after he began writing, Belushi would have his accidental overdose and pass away.
Oh.
So Aykroyd turned to another former SNL castmate, Bill Murray, who agreed, but actually never officially signed on until about day one of filming. Yeah, which is kind of how Bill Murray worked. He would kind of always do that just to make sure nobody dropped out on him. You know, he wouldn't officially sign on until around the time it was time to film. But usually if Aykroyd had said, if Bill gave him his word and he was sure he was going to be on board. But still, that makes some executives sweat because like Columbia Pictures actually had all their bets in on Murray being in this thing. This was going to be the Bill Murray show. If he wasn't in it, oh shit. Now, the original story, actually, the one with Belushi and Eddie Murphy had them like traveling through dimensions and inner space with groups of intergalactic Ghostbusters. Like it would have started out with the Ghostbusters already established, and there's like different groups and stuff of them, which is funny because when you think about it, like Aykroyd had this whole science fiction thing going. That isn't really what we got at the end, because Aykroyd brought the screenplay to Ivan Reitman, who had worked on Stripes and Animal House. And so Aykroyd figured who better to work with him and Bill on this than Reitman. And it was Reitman who thought first to bring the story down to earth, set it in New York and make it funny.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't talk about this, but Aykroyd's original story was scary.
Oh.
Yeah, there was more of those horror elements and stuff, which are in this movie, but not, it's played for laughs.
Right.
I mean, let's face that. Now, Ivan knew right away he wanted Harold Ramis to come in and work on revising the story with Aykroyd, but also that he should be in the movie as well. Once he got Harold Ramis on board, he was like, you kind of should be in this too. And Harold Ramis agreed that he'd be perfect for the role of Egon Spengler, who I think he based the looks of Egon on this model he saw once in a magazine, who was like buttoned up in this tweed thing, and he had this high hair and glasses and stuff, these wire rimmed glasses, which would go on to be an iconic look for Spengler.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Reitman took it to Frank Price, who was an executive at Columbia Pictures. Now, Price was on board, but Columbia, hearing how much it was going to cost, because they had the cost to make Ghostbusters is so all over the place, I can't give you a specific number. But according to Reitman, he had been given $10 million to do the movie Stripes. So he figured, he told them what he said. He told them that it was going to cost at least 3 times that. And this may have cost around like 25 to 30 million. But there's more inflation that went on and stuff. And I'll talk about a few of those in a second. Now, Columbia at one time thought this movie was so fucking risky that they were really hesitant to go forward with it because it was a comedy, like in its bare bones, like this movie is a comedy.
Right.
And a big budget comedy in 1980s was not a bankable thing.
Nobody was funny in the 80s?
Not really. No, there was people that were funny in the 80s. It's just big budget comedies weren't doing it.
Right.
Like Spielberg. The last big budget comedy was Spielberg's 1941, which bombed so fucking hard at the box office, it's not even funny. Oh. Yeah. So the idea in Hollywood at the time was that if Spielberg can't fucking do a big budget comedy, then no one can.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But with some screenplay tweaks, we did get what we got. Making a movie in New York was also risky at the time for Ivan Reitman. New York was seen as this place of bureaucratic turmoil and like poverty. We've covered movies from the 80s around this time.
Oh, yeah.
And they all depict New York as this fucking hellhole.
Right.
But Ivan Reitman, the way he put it was this was going to be his New York film. And I think through his lens, like we got to see kind of the beauty of New York in the 80s, the good parts.
I mean, I didn't see any bad ones.
No. It's funny because you can still see in Times Square in this movie and stuff like that. You can still see the riffraff and stuff and the prostitutes. Like, are the prostitutes no longer there? I hear Times Square is kind of like a tourist attraction now, which is weird because there was like murderers in Times Square. At one point, there was like fucking serial killers working
Oh my god.
Yeah, work in Times Square. But anyway.
I don't know it. I've never been to New York. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But there's no serial killers in this movie. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Ghostbusters from 1984.
So this movie starts at a library where a librarian is down in the basement.
You know.
And she finds Leigh. He's been slimed, but he's masturbating with the slime. And compromising with these ghosts.
I wonder if any one of these people that are like way too hardcore into Ghostbusters have ever jerked off the Slimer. You think someone's fucked a Slimer before?
I wouldn't put it past people.
Could you imagine that? I would rather walk in on somebody fucking like a dog, you know? Because at least then I'd be like, well, they're just fucking gross. Like they're just a gross bestiality person, so I can just kick them out of wherever we're in. Fine, you know, that's
but they're hurting a dog. Are they hurting
that's not
a
good.
ghost?
That's not good. But if I walked in and someone was fucking an ectoplasmic goo ball from another dimension or something like Slimer, I think I'd lose my mind. I think that would be the one instance where I would snap and have to be committed.
But that's not real.
But what if it was? You know, if you walked in on someone fucking poor Slimer. Why are we raping Slimer?
I don't know. And I thought about it and I'm like, why didn't I kill you in my joke? I don't know.
See, this is what happens when you don't kill me.
I'm running out of...
You're running out of deaths for me. But funny story, though. The name Ghostbusters was actually restricted at the time. In fact, it was the title to a 1970s sitcom, The Ghostbusters, starring Forrest Tucker, Larry Storch, and Bob Burns. This, too, got its own animated show in 1986, funny enough, around the same time the animated Ghostbusters show got started.
Oh, they copyrighting.
Yeah, which caused these two properties to get kind of like head to head a little bit, because you had Ghostbusters and then you had like the Ghostbusters, which was based off of this movie. The Real Ghostbusters is what they titled it.
Oh my gosh.
But this was owned, the title Ghostbusters was owned by Universal Studios, who owned the sitcom and the animated feature later on. So we almost got two like totally different titles for this movie.
Oh, wow.
A few of them that they were circling around were Ghost Stoppers.
Dumb.
Ghost Breakers. And my favorite, Ghost Smashers.
Ghost Smashers, huh?
It doesn't have the same ring, does it?
No.
Ghost Smashers. Who are you going to call?
Oh,
Ghost
my
Smashers. God. Ghost Smash.
I don't even know what to say to
Ghost
that.
Smashing sounds like, because smashing makes me feel good. That's even dirtier than busting makes me feel good.
Oh my god.
It just doesn't, like, we're going to go smash some ghosts. That sounds terrible. That would not have aged well. Poor Slimer would have had a totally different end to him. It's not good for him, you know? Let's go smash those ghosts.
Okay, all sexual jokes aside, though, it makes it sound like they're like beating these ghosts.
Yeah, it makes it sound much more violent.
Right.
You know, like, they fucking murdering ghosts, you know. Now luckily we didn't have to sit through that because Frank Price, who I mentioned earlier, early in production of the movie, he left Columbia and became the head of Universal Pictures. And so he sold Columbia the title for $500,000 and 1% of the film's profit, which was like an old school move in Hollywood, where you basically did this and inflated the film's production costs on the movie to limit the royalty or tax payouts. So technically, by the books, the movie never made a profit to which Universal would have to be paid.
Cheating the system.
Yeah, because Frank Price was basically the only one who believed in this movie at the very beginning. Columbia did not want him to do this.
Okay.
They even sent someone to his office to try to persuade him not to.
Because they thought it was going to bomb?
Yeah, they did not want to make this movie, but Frank Price kept going.
He's like, no, I'm making this movie.
No, why do I get the feeling he was like, this sounds so fucking cool. We got to move forward.
I want to do this and I want to do it now. So anyway, so the movie starts at a library where the librarian is down in the basement and weird shit keeps happening. She's getting scared. So she's like running through the library.
Books are flying out.
Books are
papers.
flying, yeah.
The Dewey Decimal System is flipping and flopping all over the fucking place.
Flipping, flopping.
Flip, flop.
And then she gets stopped by something. We don't see what it is. And then the theme song plays.
Is there a fucking moment in this movie that isn't iconic by this time? You know, the score was created by Elmer Bernstein and the 72-person Hollywood Studio Symphony. But the theme song, which is now a Halloween staple. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Even if you don't like Ghostbusters, all of us are fucking drinking and partying to it during the holiday, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That was written and performed by Ray Parker Jr. Now, the theme song peaked at #1 for 2 weeks on the Billboard charts in 1984.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was some controversy over it. In 1984, Huey Lewis sued Columbia Pictures and Ray Parker Jr., stating that the theme song used the melody from the song I Want a New Drug off of Huey Lewis and the News' album Sports, which, if you're not familiar with Huey and Lewis and the News, you're definitely familiar with American Psycho, which
right.
is like one of Patrick Bateman's favorite bands, which is the joke of that movie because he loves awful music. I'm sorry, everybody, but Huey Lewis and the News makes me want to cut my head off with an Al Jarreau record. I can't stand them. I'm not a fan of Huey Lewis and the News. I'm not a fan of that weird middle-aged rock shit that music went through. Remember, we weren't even alive, but you know that music that's just dad rock, you know? Huey Lewis and the News is straight up dad rock.
I guess, yeah.
I want a new drug, one that won't make me hit. And Hip to Be Square. Hip to Be Square is the biggest dad song, like, anthem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's really weird. Now that I think about it, American Psycho and him anyway.
Hey, Paul! God damn it. When he kills Jared Leto, I cheer. But anyway.
So now we're with Peter, and he's testing some kids and he's holding up these cards. And it's like, guess the shape or whatever. He's just trying to see if they're psychic or whatever the fuck he's trying to do. He's just trying to fuck this girl, okay? I don't know if they're kids. They're very young.
Yeah,
okay?
he's shocking poor Steve Tosh, who's actually guessing the cards right. And hitting on this other girl who he's trying to angle with.
Right. Well, Ray comes in and he tells Peter that the library people saw a free-floating full torso with vaporous apparition. So, Peter's annoyed because he just wants to fuck this girl.
I'm trying to do something right now, Ray.
Right.
I love how this immediately establishes who's Peter's character, you know, who Bill Murray's character is, because like as soon as we open the fucking movie, we get Vinkman burning hell on his fucking office door.
Oh my gosh, I didn't check.
Yeah, so you know he's just this schwarmy kind of piece of shit dude.
Right.
So
he's in it just to fuck bitches.
Oh yeah. He's the womanizer of the group, which is funny because now I think if they made Ghostbusters this time, you know, like around these times, you'd have like Robert Downey Jr. and fucking Chris Hemsworth in this fucking movie. You know, just a bunch of
sounds ridiculous.
Just a bunch of hunks populating our movies now. Whereas here you got some regular dudes, man.
Yeah.
Bill Murray, Egon, Harold Ramis, fucking Dan Aykroyd. They're just schlubs. You know?
Yeah.
Which is great.
I don't know. Dan Aykroyd is mighty handsome.
Oh,
but I love Dan Aykroyd from what movie was he in that I love him from? My Girl?
Oh yeah. He plays the dad in My Girl, which is one of your like favorite movies, actually.
Yeah. So I've always had a little.
You've always had a crush on Dan Aykroyd. That's awesome. You never hear that. You never fucking hear that. You never hear anyone say Dan Aykroyd's like, all right.
All right. He's better looking than Bill Murray. Bill Murray looks like he got run over by a truck.
Bill. I'm so sorry. Oh, damn. It's weird.
And he's like even more handsome in this movie. Like Dan Aykroyd.
He was pretty young in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is like Oh, he'd been in movies up until this point, of course. All of them had.
Oh, yeah.
But like, yeah, this is very early, you know, in his film career. And like, it's funny when you think about it, but Bill Murray, out of all of them, is the one that is like the most pop culture relevant person nowadays.
Right.
Which is really weird because I love Bill Murray. Don't get me wrong. But he's never been my favorite out of all these guys in this movie. Like, if anyone's my favorite, it's Dan Aykroyd. I don't know why, you guys. I just have this big old man crush on Dan Aykroyd.
Me too.
I know. See? So we're in agreement to this. And, of course, Harold Ramis. I fucking love Harold Ramis.
You know, he's better looking than Bill Murray.
Fuck, marry, kill out of the 3 Ghostbusters that we have
I'm
right
killing Bill Murray because fuck that dude.
Okay,
I do not care for him.
You don't care for Bill Murray at all. Have you seen any movie with Bill Murray that you care for? Groundhog's Day. Okay, I was gonna say you've seen that, right?
In Zombieland.
In Zombieland, of course. Which is weird for you, I bet, because Zombieland is the first movie that really acknowledged how popular Bill Murray is with everybody. Right.
And I knew he was in Groundhog's Day, and I knew he was in Ghostbusters. Never seen Ghostbusters, but I was like, don't like him. Don't.
Really? Wow.
No, don't like him at all. Okay, so fuck, marry, kill. Well, duh. Dan Aykroyd, I'm gonna fuck.
Because once you throw Ernie Hudson in the mix later, then it's all about Ernie Hudson. So so that's what I'm saying. The 3 we have now.
Okay, so actually, I'd have to marry Dan Aykroyd because he's so sweet.
He is.
He's so sweet. He's funny. Yes. He's sweet. He's adorable.
Well, yeah, which is great that you picked up on that during this, because when they wrote this, Bill Murray was supposed to be like the mouth of the group, of course, like the womanizer, the mouth, the attitude. You had Egon, who's played by Harold Ramis, as the brains. Right. And then Dan Aykroyd's character is the heart of the group. He's like the sweet, he's the little dude, you know, just the sweetheart.
But I'm not discounting Harold Ramis at all. Like, I go between. I'd fuck both of them. I'd marry both of them. Okay.
Damn.
Like, because I like the nerdy dudes.
Yeah.
I like a nerdy dude. Okay.
Yeah,
have you met
you? I have met me. Yeah. I'm like a combo of Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis.
It's true.
It's fucking true. But anyway, so while writing the screenplay, Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, and Harold Ramis, they started out in Reitman's office. But then they moved themselves and their families to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. And because Aykroyd already had a home there, so they just kind of stayed there. And according to Aykroyd, he was more than willing to refine his story. You know, like, I know a lot of people say, well, was he angry about having to redo what he had originally planned? And not really. He was happy. He calls himself a kitchen sink writer, which basically, like, just toss whatever you have into the kitchen sink and we'll do it. Yeah. Now, the way it all went down was all of them worked day and night on this thing in Aykroyd's basement. Dan Aykroyd provided the paranormal jargon and the situations, and then Ramis would take that and refine the jokes and dialogue.
Nice.
They would write separately, then rewrite each other's drafts when they passed them off to each other. So they were just writing and rewriting until they got this thing perfect. Bill Murray, when he was brought on, he didn't even have to offer much creativity towards his character besides ad-libbing, which is another thing that this movie has going for it that I don't think any comedy does much anymore. Right. Is ad-libbing, like the improv and stuff of this movie. All of them. The dialogue is barely filmed the way it was written.
That's awesome.
Because
I like
they all ad-libbed. Almost all of Bill Murray's lines are ad-libbed.
Yeah, you could tell.
God.
I'm just joking.
And then when you introduce Rick Moranis later, I mean, that dude was ad-libbing the whole fucking time.
Oh, really?
And so he's almost an uncredited writer on this because of that. But
that's
that's Tully Lewis later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about Winston?
Winston, that's Ernie Hudson. We'll get to him in a little bit, but
okay. But for some reason, when I went to the cast list, he was not listed as one of the main cast members.
Dude, we'll talk about it, but Ernie Hudson is the he got screwed here, man.
Okay, good.
You
I'm
know?
glad I'm not the only one.
No, you were definitely
'cause
not
I
the
was
only
like-
one. They call him the squeezed Ghostbuster because of that reason. Because, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get the Winston.
Because he's
in
black,
a little
huh?
bit. We'll talk about that too.
Okay.
Now, what was funny was
I threw you off.
you did throw me off. Now, Bill Murray, like I said, he didn't have to add too much to this besides ad-libbing because Harold Ramis had written for Bill Murray already.
Oh.
Yeah, so he just knew the way Bill Murray was going to talk.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the guys end up going to the library, and as they're interviewing the librarian, who is all freaked out, they get movement from the ghost. So they go looking around the basement. They eventually find a ghost, and they're all of a sudden stunned because they're like, now we don't know what to do. Like,
that's
see
the
it.
funniest part. It's like, what do we do?
Right. So Peter just tries to talk to it, but she just shushes him because she's like a librarian
Yeah.
or whatever. And then they decide to get her. How do you just get?
Yeah, I love
They're
because
just
Ray
gonna
is like,
catch
I
her?
got it. Get her.
Right. And when they do, it turns this nice librarian ghost turns into this big like monster ghost.
looking fucking thing.
And so they just run out screaming. They run out to the street. They don't even just run out of the basement. They're running out the whole fucking library. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be doing something here.
Get her, Ray. Get her.
Yeah.
Apparently audience laughed and screamed during test screenings, which is funny because Ivan Reitman had said he was like, the filming schedule on this thing, Columbia had shortened it so tight. I think it was like months like that they had to film this movie.
Oh, wow.
And so they were on a tight schedule. So the test screening that they cut was like it lacked a bunch of like special effects and polishing and stuff. But Ivan Reitman said nobody cared,
Right.
like, when they watched it. But this librarian was originally going to be a much scarier puppet, like rah kind of thing. But that was kind of, but they scrapped it and used it later in the film Fright Night as part of the scene where Jerry Dandridge dies.
Nice.
Production took 13 fucking months is what I was aiming for when I said months. 13 months is what production was at. And in that,
16.
all the major special effects studios were far too busy on other features. So they ran into a problem with that. But luckily, Richard Edlund was leaving Industrial Light and Magic, which is George Lucas's group, and to start his own business. So Ivan Reitman convinced Columbia to work with MGM at the time to advance him $5 million to establish Bosch Film Studios.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now that's where the tight schedule started because he had 10 months to build the effects studio, shoot scenes, and finish the images that we see in Ghostbusters. His team at the time were also split between Ghostbusters and MGM's 2010, the year we make contact. So just goes to show you how fucking busy everybody was on this fucking movie.
Why timelines I don't understand that. Why are there deadlines?
Well, with Columbia really, really wary that if this thing was going to succeed, they gave them a shorter film deadline.
So that
they
could try
wouldn't
to
waste
make
so
their...
much money.
Oh,
You know,
I
a lot
gotcha.
of big studios will do that for films they don't feel like it's going to make them a lot of money.
Because time is money.
Yeah, time is money, literally. Like,
Right.
so they'll shorten the filming time they give some of these features because of that reason. It's the reason why you hear like stuff like a John Carpenter film took 8 weeks to shoot, you know, because it was so tight, you know, and low budget. And so like a lot of the big Hollywood studios will do that to their bigger budget movies because it's like, well, if they're not taking so long to shoot, then we're not wasting all this money on something that might bomb. You know?
Right.
Like I said, the previous movie that was a big comedy was 1941, which bombed horrendously. And you wouldn't see another comedy make as much money as Ghostbusters until 1990 with Home Alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but no. So it was, just lack of faith on the studio's part.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Perfect question. I know this. I'm like, whoa.
you're like, oh, I love her even more.
Oh, yes. I could talk days on Ghostbusters, this has been the hardest episode for me to really contain myself. Yeah.
Not worth it. Anyway. Just save it. Save it
for the end. Save it for the end.
So when the men get back to their office at the university that they work for, or no, like they don't work for the university. I lied. They attended the university.
Yeah, they're kind of professors at the university, and they're getting grants to do their research. So, and hard-ass Dean Yeager has decided to kick them out.
Right. And they're losing their funding. The dean basically tells Peter that he's stupid and his research is stupid. And Peter doesn't let this discourage him, though. He thinks that this is meant to be. So he decides that they're just going to go into business for themselves.
Well, yeah, of course, because and Ivan Reitman and Harold Ramis all had said the idea for this, like for them to go into business hunting ghosts, was due to it was the 80s, it was the early 80s. Everybody was starting a business around something.
Oh yeah, ghost hunting though.
You know, I wish I could say it wasn't a lucrative business, but you literally have mediums who are making millions of dollars.
That's true. You're right.
So if you could convince someone that you're catching a ghost in their house, I think you'd probably make a lot of money.
So Peter then makes Ray take a third mortgage on his house.
Poor fucking Ray.
And he really thinks they're going to hit big and be super famous. So they go and buy an old rundown old fire station.
Yeah, an old fire station. Which I love it because like they go in there and Egon's like, this place should be fucking condemned.
Right.
And he's all like explaining all the terribleness of it. And all of a sudden, old Ray comes sliding down the firewall. This place is great.
We should stay here tonight.
And I love the look they exchange, like Peter and Egon, because Peter's like, you really want to break his heart.
Right.
You really want to do that. You want to do that to Ray?
They're like, fine.
We'll
I want to know how much they got on this third mortgage, though.
Oh God! Well, I think what did Egon say during the scene? He was talking about like the what was it with inflation or something. What did he say with
the interest rate?
Yeah, the interest rate was going to be over $95,000. So,
oh yeah,
ooh.
I know. I'm like, how much is that?
And that was 1984,
right? Whew.
Yeah. Now this firehouse is a real firehouse. The exterior and the interior are two separate firehouses, though. The exterior is located at the intersection of 14 North Moore Street and Varick Street in Tribeca. It's a neighborhood in New York. Hook and Ladder Company 8. Now that still has the Ghostbusters logo hanging around. In fact, that fire station is still functional.
Nice.
If you go inside, they have the Ghostbusters logo and pictures of the cast and crew.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, like, and that fire station at one point was in danger of getting shut down. But I think Steve Buscemi, who's a known volunteer firefighter, he actually raised money to get it back up and renovated and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Why do I know this? I don't know. No, but I can't remember everyone's birthday.
Nope.
Now, the interior was filmed at the fire station in Los Angeles. That was fire station number 23, which has been used for a bunch of films in Los Angeles, including Flatliners and The Mask.
So they don't do firefighting there? They just film movies there?
No, I think it's a functional firehouse as well.
I was just joking.
I was reaching in my memory bank. I'm sorry.
I was just joking.
Because I also shot a movie called Firehouse there about firefighters.
Oh, I thought you were saying you did. I was like, what?
Yeah, I shot a movie called Firehouse.
Why didn't I know about this? You've just been lying to me all this time.
We're actually millionaires.
What the fuck? We can't afford groceries sometimes and you're a fucking millionaire. Fuck you. You see that car I drive?
What I love about the characters so far is they are kind of relatable. You know, even though they're smart and they know all this stuff and they have these degrees, you still kind of feel for them. Like, I think if they had made the Ghostbusters these successful professors with all this money and stuff, it would be less interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because then they could just buy this stuff.
Yeah, because the idea behind it is just everyday schmoes are making it,
Right.
doing something.
They're trying to make it big in this weird business, but they're trying to do it. So now we meet Dana, and she gets home from going grocery shopping, and her neighbor tells her that her TV was up really loud while she was gone. He was like,
"Your TV is on," and so I tried to climb out on the outside. Because this is again, Rick Moranis just ad-libbing this whole time, and somebody's like, "I tried to climb out on the terrace and tried to reach it, but I couldn't get the window open." And so you're like, "Wait a second, this motherfucker got out on the side of the building."
He's trying to get her TV turned down.
So then I just turned up my TV real loud and just told everybody it was a problem with the electric.
When it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Rick Moranis is fucking hysterical in this fucking movie. I think this is as funny as he's ever been.
He's pretty funny.
Oh, he's great. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is a fucking treasure.
So when she walks into her apartment, she sees a commercial for Ghostbusters. When she's putting her groceries away, her eggs start to burst out of the
This is a cool fucking
carton,
effect.
And then they're like cooking.
Frying on the counter.
And then she hears something from the fridge, and she opens it, and it's some kind of monster thing. What does it say to her?
Oh, it just growls.
Oh, it just growls at
It's got
her.
a light in
Okay.
its throat and shit like that. There's a whole other fucking dimension in her fridge.
Yes.
Which is funny because Sigourney Weaver had a actual fire in one of her apartments one time. The firefighter, I guess, thought it'd be funny because he opened the fridge. He's like, "Uh-oh, better call the Ghostbusters."
Oh,
it's like,
no.
yeah, that's not funny, guy. My apartment's on fire. What the shit? Oh, you better call the Ghostbusters. There's a monster in here.
Is that how he sounded?
Probably. I don't know. Now, Sigourney Weaver, to everyone else, was a big, serious actor on this movie. I mean, she had just done Alien with Ridley Scott and A Year of Living Dangerously, an Australian romantic drama. So all serious movies was what she was in because no one could really see her being in a comedy. But really, comedy is where she got her roots. She did all these comedies in Yale School of Drama. So that was kind of what she was wanting to do. And she was kind of upset that she couldn't do comedy.
Oh.
She couldn't get into these comedic roles. So Ghostbusters was like so much fun for her.
Right.
Because she finally got to be in a comedy. And it was actually her idea to become possessed by the devil dog. To be a devil dog. In fact, in her audition, she did that. Like Ivan Reitman said, she was on his fucking coffee table growling like a fucking demon dog.
Oh, wow.
Which kind of saves the third act of this movie because it gives some actual like personal stakes to the whole story.
Right.
And stuff. But no, like it's good. Like Sigourney Weaver, my God.
I don't know about her.
Really?
Yeah.
There was some sexual awakenings due to Sigourney Weaver when I was younger because I saw Ghostbusters and Alien around the same fucking time. So
You know what it is? I liked her in every other movie I've seen her in.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, she's got kind of a damsel in distress thing going on in this movie.
But not
at the same time.
I don't know.
I think
I didn't like this character. I don't think it was her.
I'd like more of Dana.
Yeah.
Like I know that sounds ridiculous to a lot of people, but I feel like more Dana is good. Because in the second one, her character gets really weird. Like her. We'll talk about the second one if we get there when we do the second one.
Okay.
I won't sit here and spiel about the other sequels to this movie too much because I have other things to say about them too. So. But no, I think she's fine here. But I do kind of agree. Like you want a little bit more meat from this character.
Yeah.
And a bit more just because like I do feel like
well, the thing is,
she holds her own. And what I love about it is her relationship with Venkman.
Yeah.
The fact that she's making fun of him throughout this entire fucking movie. Because it's great to see somebody hold their own against Bill Murray, who is known for that kind of comedy.
Right.
Just that schwarmy kind of goofy asshole kind of thing,
Right.
which made him perfect for the movie Scrooge and fucking Groundhog Day later on in his career.
So Dana goes to see the Ghostbusters, and they decide to split up and try to figure out what's going on. And of course, Peter wants to take her to check out her apartment.
It's just like, I'd like to take her to her apartment and check her out. I mean, check out her apartment.
She just glares at him.
Serious movie, by the way.
wait.
You know, very horror-filled, serious action movie here.
Just
we
like
got.
our
Yeah.
podcast is supposed to be serious.
Very serious.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Ghostbusters is a serious film. I don't know why we're laughing.
We're
this is
not
silly.
allowed. I
You know,
don't.
Not allowed to laugh. I hate
You're
Twitter.
laughing
I
about-
fucking hate Twitter because it was loaded with that, and I thought I had gone insane. I was like, apparently everyone else thinks Ghostbusters isn't a comedy except for me. Oh, good Lord.
So when they get to her apartment, nothing is out of place anymore. Like there's not a monster in her fridge or anything. And then Peter, of course, starts hitting on her, and he asks her out, and she turns him down. So he's gonna prove to her that he can get things done. Yep, that's gonna get her to go out with you. Okay. So back at the office, the secretary gets a call and sounds the alarm, and the guy gets suited up and ready
Oh man,
for their first emergency call.
with the fucking iconic scenes. I mean, Janine yelling, "We got one." I mean, that's like. Have you heard me do that? I've literally said that like a bunch of times and nobody gets what I'm doing. Except every once in a while, I'll say that and like I'll be next to a Ghostbuster fan and I'll get the nod, you know? I'll get the nod. We got one. You know?
I don't think I've ever heard you say
She's like it's one of my many movie references
don't-
I've done.
I don't acknowledge those because I don't know that they are.
I'm sorry. So this is Annie Potts portraying secretary with attitude Janine. She took over the role when actor Sandra Bernhard turned it down. Now, it was her idea to have the glasses. She actually borrowed them from a costume designer.
Nice.
But here you got the Ecto one, you know? Up there with some of the most famous movie cars ever known. I'd say this is probably on the same level as the fucking Back to the Future car, the DeLorean. Now, Aykroyd originally wrote this thing as an all-black, super sinister-looking car with white and purple strobe lights, which put out this ultraviolet aura. Or aura. Sorry, I said that wrong again. You know, when you think about it, that sounds fucking cool, dude. You know, I would love to exist in a universe where we got Aykroyd's original story.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, the super serious fucking sci-fi horror movie that John Belushi was going to star in. That would have been wild. But no, now it was cinematographer Laszlo Kovacs who said the all black would look really bad on film since most everything was shot at night in this movie. So so to cut the cost and make it look good, the team decided on a 1975 Cadillac ambulance, which they could probably pick up for around $600 at the time. But then
That's not bad.
Yeah, but then the screenplay changed again, and by 1983 the price went up to $1,400, so they could buy an older 1959 model of Cadillac ambulance. During production, after all said and done, the rumored cost, I say rumored because exact costs on Ghostbusters are kind of foggy, but the rumored cost was around $4,800 because what you see on screen is actually a Miller Meteor Fitura ambulance / hearse combo on a 1959 Cadillac Fleetwood Pro chassis. It's kind of a Frankencar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Created by Stephen Dane, the hardware consultant. At one point, it actually broke down in Central Park while filming. So the cast and crew had to push it out of the way because they were blocking crosstown traffic. This car broke down several times. The bridge scene where Aykroyd and Hudson are driving and stuff, it broke down during filming that.
Oh my gosh.
And so they just had problems left and right with this thing. Now, there was actually 3 Miller Meteors. One was the black and gray one, which you see before they transform it into the Ecto one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that belonged to a car collector who had just bought it off of somebody off the side of the fucking road one day. And so he retained this thing in his collection.
Nice.
And I think he ended up selling it at some point. And
I bet he made hella fucking money.
probably
off of
hella
it.
money
Yeah.
because somebody took that and restored it for when they did the Ghostbusters game back in like 2009 or 2005.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which Dan Aykroyd was so shocked that it looked so good.
Yeah.
Now the second one, which was originally a gold ambulance, that was one they did for the Ecto 1, and then the completed Ecto 1A. Supposedly, though, the siren you hear is actually a leopard snarl. They took this, reversed it, played it backwards, and sped it up. Yeah, and that was all done by sound designer Richard Beggs.
Okay. You just couldn't get a siren?
Well, no, because it had to be unique, because the Ecto 1 has a very unique siren, as lots of ghost heads will tell you. Yes, we have our own nickname.
Ghost heads. Okay.
There's a whole documentary.
Not
you
the
guys.
Buster Boys?
There is the Buster Boys. That could have been another title. The Buster Boys. The Buster Boys up to no good again. Now on to the proton packs, though. I mean, anybody who cosplays a Ghostbuster will tell you, most of these people build their own proton packs out of just scraps and stuff like that. And these were kind of the same. They were based off of military issued flamethrowers. Now, original designs had them equipped with these wands that the Ghostbusters would flick, kind of like a fucking magician.
Oh God, that would have been weird.
Yeah, it looks corny as fuck. And they kind of, took it down to like laser weapons just because it should be kind of more realistic to what they would build. Because why would they build wands? But anyway, what happened was Stephen Dane whipped these things together in a night with foam pieces. The idea was to make this whole thing look like it was off the shelf military surplus stuff that they could cobble together into these nuclear reactors and stuff.
Right.
Now, the on-screen versions you see, those were actually made from a fiberglass shell with an aluminum backplate that bolted onto a U.S. Army backpack frame.
Okay, that's a lot of words.
Each proton pack, now these ones that you see in close-up shots, each of these proton packs weighed about 30 pounds each.
That's not bad.
Not bad, but when you consider you're having to strap these on some actors' backs and have them film for long periods of time, that creates back strain.
Right.
So lighter ones were made for wide shots and a few foam rubber ones for action scenes, like when the Ghostbusters get zapped across the building later on.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the logo, it actually wasn't in the original script. Like Aykroyd had no logos for anything. And so they were like, well, we got to do that. We got to create a logo for these guys. So they created this logo in like a night, just a simple ghost with a no smoking sign over it,
Nice.
Simple. And they created that on a rush. Now they would eventually get sued by the guy who wrote Casper. Because he claimed that they stole the design from fucking Fatso, the ghost, and Casper, the friendly ghost.
Yeah.
But like the courts dismissed that because they were like, there's only so many ways you can draw a ghost.
Right. I agree with that. So the guys ended up getting a call to a hotel that has a ghost taking over the 12th floor.
Yeah.
When they get up to the floor, they almost zap one of the housekeepers because they get startled.
What the hell are you doing?
Yes.
Sorry. Which Dan Aykroyd does his best to cover up that Canadian accent, but every time he says sorry in this movie, sorry, I'm sorry. It's like, damn, that's bleeding through, my friend.
That's okay. I mean, he is in New York. That's not that far from Canada.
True. Yeah.
So they split up, and Ray sees a green blob monster. This is Slimer, right?
Yeah.
And it's eating off of a food tray. Where's it going? Where's the food going?
Well, you see it. It's just falling on the ground.
Oh, I guess I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the food's just falling out of Slimer and onto the ground.
Right. So he chases it down until he loses it, and now Peter is with Slimer, and it ends up sliming it.
I love it.
I don't know why that's so funny
He
to me.
slimed me because it's a comedy. This whole movie is a comedy. There is jokes coming at you left and right, and I don't understand how people don't see it. Because I mean, there's even a joke in the hallway when Egon's using the PKE meter to, looking for shit, and he comes across that guy just trying to get into his room.
Yes.
And he like pokes him to see if he's real.
And he's got that little machine thing.
Yeah. So again, like, I don't understand people missing out on the
No.
jokes.
So then the Slimer ends up going down to the ballroom.
Yeah.
And so they get called down to go down there and check it out.
Right. And what's great is, like, with a Ghostbusters movie, you hope there's some ghost busting, and that's kind of what we get here.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole Slimer sequence takes like 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah, you're having a ball so far. Now, serious horror movie.
Serious.
Now, of course, John Belushi sadly couldn't be, but in this movie, to properly star in Ghostbusters, as Aykroyd would have liked him to. But he's kind of here. See, Slimer is modeled after Belushi. supposedly Harold Ramis and
You can't even finish it.
and Dan Aykroyd did this as an homage to John Belushi and the food eating scene from Animal House and all that stuff. And just because John Belushi was a big old fat person. And so they got the ghost of John Belushi in this fucking movie.
Nice.
I gotta say, if I die, will you not create a CGI ghost of my fatness?
I'll do whatever I want.
Dear God. I don't know if this is disrespectful or funny. I didn't know John Belushi. Maybe he would have thought this was hysterical. But anyway, now Steve Johnson created the final design for what would, at the time, they called it the onion-headed ghost before it was named Slimer. It was more named Slimer in the cartoons and stuff.
Because he slimed people.
Yeah, he's Slimer. Now, apparently the puppet smelled like onions. That's where they got the name the onion-headed ghost.
That's weird.
Now, the design took around 6 months to complete and cost around $300,000. 6 months because the studio kept changing their mind on things, right? Kept wanting different things of what it wanted to look like.
Fucking studio.
Johnson struggled to do this because of that interference. So, with 3 grams of cocaine, he completed this thing in one fucking night. Completed Slimer in one fucking night.
I mean, it's a hell of a drug.
Hell yeah. And Slimer was a full-size foam rubber puppet worn by Mark Wilson and filmed against a black background with several puppeteers manipulating the movements. Just goes to show you, though, that most of your childhood was indeed fueled by cocaine. Now, goddamn. Now, well, speaking of childhood, it was surprising to Dan Aykroyd and all the people that worked on this movie that kids took such a huge liking to. Because the kids didn't see it as this kind of adult comedy because there's so much adult moments in this fucking movie. And the Ghostbusters are smoking all over this fucking joint.
Oh, yeah.
They're smoking in buildings, smoking in the hallways.
Right.
So it surprised everybody that kids really saw past that and saw that it was just a bunch of guys fighting ghosts with laser weapons, which is fun.
I'm surprised parents let their kids watch this because it's such a scary.
Oh yeah, it's so scary. My parents were really debating letting me watch Ghostbusters because the seriousness of it.
Yeah.
I just watched Hellraiser and they were like, I don't know if he's ready for the Ghostbusters. You fucking morons. Anyway. God damn it, I hate people. But, now, I did say I'm going to piss off a lot of these people with this show. Now, I think one thing that confuses people when they say that Ghostbusters isn't a comedy, though, is the fact that it's not like other comedies. Well,
right.
Comedies you see nowadays,
Right.
A lot of this comes from the talent of Harold Ramis. Now, Ramis, the late Harold Ramis, had been writing comedy for years up until this point, dating back to his stint with he actually wrote articles for Playboy and stuff at one point, and he wrote for SCTV, which was this Canadian kind of SNL type show. And that's where he would have met Rick Moranis and John Candy, amongst other awesome celebrities. Of course, National Lampoons, too. He wrote for them. He even went on to direct Vacation, the Vacation movie. which John Hughes wrote that. But it's his specialization at genre mixing that helps Ghostbusters feel like it's something else entirely.
Right.
Almost its own genre at the time.
Right.
And I think that's what really gets people confused, because Ghostbuster is kind of in a little area of its own. You can't properly call it a horror movie. You can't properly call it a paranormal or an action film or anything like that. What you can call it is a comedy.
Right.
That's what I call it. That's what it is to me. I'm sorry. But the comedy is also old school, We aren't stopping dead to explain a joke.
No.
Dialogue is not set up so actors can wait for punchlines. There's not a lot of, we talked about this, like the difference between comedy back in the day and comedy now.
Right.
Which I'm not saying one is better than the other or one's worse than the other or anything like that. It's just comedy is always evolving to whatever makes people laugh. And so you compare this to, and I hate to do it, I hate to do it, but you compare it to the 2016 remake, which I like that movie too. But if you compare it to this, and everything in that 2016 movie then starts to feel like a forced SNL sketch.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that if it makes you laugh. But the humor in this movie is so, it's so organic. That's the best word I could say. It feels more genuine, and it feels realistically like it's happening with the stuff,
That's what I was going to say. Like, these people are actually having these conversations.
Yeah, like
when
they
don't know how to.
Yeah, like when Peter makes a quip, you that's just something somebody would say,
right.
Like later on when he says, "Yes, this man has no dick." Like that spectacular line is a great little comeback during a conversation that was being had. It's not so slapsticky, Like a lot of movies nowadays, there's these weird pauses in the jokes, like waiting for you to laugh so they can move on to the next thing. It's like slapstick, quippy joke, slapstick, repeat.
Right. I think that's why I don't like movies like Step Brothers.
Yeah, it's an excellent thing to use, because a lot of the Apatow comedies and a lot of the stuff like what Will Ferrell was creating there, it's a lot of that,
And I just don't personally care for that.
No. And what's also missing in this movie, and what was missing from a lot of movies that Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd and stuff worked on, is there's not a lot of scatological humor either. There's not a lot of easy jokes. You know what I mean? There is a few, but not so much, As Aykroyd would put it, he's always said that stuff's kind of low-hanging fruit of comedy,
right.
when you do stuff that's like offensive or stuff that's purposely like trying to punch down to get laughs,
Right. Or just like overly sexual.
Yeah, overly sexual.
There's like a lot of, not in this movie, but like in today's comedy, it's way overly sexual. Because even Peter in this movie, he's not even overly sexual towards Dana.
But he is like a really like womanizing dude without having to do that.
Right. I like that. I appreciate that.
The character is still funny for that without whipping his dick out at any point during this movie.
Right.
It's a hard thing to explain to people. Well, with the difference between today's comedy and back then, because comedy is ever evolving. It's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating on anything.
Right.
I enjoy that 2016 Ghostbusters for what it is. Like, there's a lot of problems with that movie, but the comedy isn't one of them. I think I think the women in that movie are super fucking hysterical.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
It's the last funny comedy performance I ever saw her in. Whoever's writing for her cannot write.
Anyway, I'm so over her. I love her, but I'm so over
bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
But no, you compare it, and my God, it really does prove how much comedy changed. And so I fully believe that there are some people who can sit down and watch Ghostbusters and not catch any of the jokes or humor.
That's weird.
I think they're out there. I mean, according to the internet. Like I said, a lot of people on the internet are full of shit, so I don't know. But, oh, Lord.
I think people don't want to have fun sometimes.
I think so, because like watching this movie, I was laughing my fucking tits off.
Oh yeah,
dude, this movie's still funny to this day, and weirdly, like I've said it a couple of times, but it feels based in reality, which is not something the Ghostbusters is.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't feel that way.
I see what you meant by that now.
Yeah, that shit should not feel based, but it does. Like, the combination of Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd with his jargon on the paranormal and stuff, and Harold Ramis's ability to make a joke out of anything.
Right.
You know, I think he's one of my favorite comedic writers just because of his ability to make these jokes that are there, but they aren't like these fucking in your face fucking jokes, you know, like stuff like the Farrelly brothers do, where it's a joke a mile a minute and shit like that. These are more subdued,
right,
and stuff like that. Like when they're price gouging the dude, the maitre d' at the hotel,
right.
they keep raising the price on him and shit like that. That's funny, you know. And so I don't know, you know, I could see people not getting it, but again, this is a comedy.
I think it's just because people don't like to have fun.
Were you laughing during this movie?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you got it. See, even Brittany, who doesn't watch movies, understood that she's watching a comedy.
Right. So they go down to the ballroom and they see Slimer and they're trying to shoot him with their lasers. And that's when Egon tells them that it would be bad to cross streams. I got some kind of weird pee joke out of that in my brain.
Brittany was like trying to come up with this pee joke. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of there. It's fine. There's a lot of jokes that are there.
Yeah.
That aren't in your, like I said, it's not like out and in your face about it. Like there's a joke later on about where Egon's underneath the desk. Like when he's setting up her computer, he pops up. That's a joke.
Right. So they ask him, like, okay, what's going to happen if we cross streams? And he says, basically, they'll explode if they do that.
It would be really bad.
Really bad.
I love how straight-laced. And Harold Ramis was committed to not making Egon smile through this entire movie.
Oh, my God, right? I love it, though. So they end up trying to shoot at Slimer, and they don't get him still. For a minute, but then but what they are doing is successfally fucking up the ballroom.
This ballroom is fucked up, and I love it. Cuts to the maitre d' outside, and he's just hearing all this mayhem happening in there. And again, you're watching this. I don't see how you don't see it as a comedy,
right? Because he's running around trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So finally, they try something different, and they end up trapping it. Like they get one laser on one side, one laser on the other side, and they open the little box thing to trap it, and they got it. They trapped it.
Yeah.
So then they go to the hotel owner dude and tell him it's gonna cost $5,000. And this is so funny to me. Okay. He's like, I'm not paying that. And he was like, oh, Ray's like, okay, well, I'll just take this right back. He's like, no. I'll pay whatever you need. You know, they did more than $5,000 fucking dollars worth of damage in that fucking hotel.
Oh, yeah. How much do you think they're charging the little guy? Because I wonder if like it's a scale, you know, you go to like, because you can't be charging $5,000 to some little old lady whose husband is haunting her.
Right.
Like,
no.
They're not going to charge that person that much, I assume.
I think it's how nice are you to me?
Right. And with the amount of things, I mean, this is a great business, really, if you could legitimately pull this off. Because, like, everybody's dying. There's got to be ghosts fucking everywhere.
They're fucking?
Well, they might be fucking some fucking ghosts. I'm assuming that costs extra. That's probably double. But, like... That's those ghost smashers. You got to call them.
Oh, my God. Ghost smashers.
But no, man. It's still, you would think at some point they would have to like list the Ghostbusters as a utility, right?
I don't know.
You have to pay a monthly bill for your ghost busting, I would assume.
Every time you say busting.
Busting makes me feel good.
I am a literal teenager, okay?
Oh, don't worry. I think the rest of the world is too. Not a comedy, though. Guys, not a comedy.
We're laughing too much in this episode.
We're laughing way too much. We're going to get canceled for laughing so much. Canceled.
So now we see that the guys have skyrocketed in fame because now there are an abundance of ghost sightings throughout New York. And I don't know why it's so funny to me, but maybe because of Anna Nicole. But Ray ends up having this dream that he gets his dick sucked off by a ghost during this little montage.
This is another one of those movies I watched as a kid and I forgot there's a beach in it. Like Ace Ventura has an extremely violent blowjob in that movie. But you always forget about it. I don't know if my parents made me turn my head, after seeing Hellraiser, they were worried. But oh man, and then you got Casey Kasem and the Ghostbusters dance the night away. I don't know why that always made me laugh as Casey Kasem was right there. He not only has a cameo in this fucking movie, but Tully dances with his wife later on. That's Mrs. Kasem at the party, the tall lady.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Which everyone's tall up next to Rick Moranis in this movie.
That's true.
Also, this might also be the start of every movie was required to have a Larry King cameo after this. Remember that? Like up until his death, everybody had a Larry King cameo for some reason.
It's true.
You always had a Larry King segment break in. It was I'm interviewing the Ghostbusters. Fucking what the shit?
I mean, that's an easy way to make money, right? Like, just
it's true. He was cameoing in everything, including Shrek. Larry King was in Shrek.
Was he?
Yeah, he played a bar matron.
Oh.
Yeah, weird, huh?
I did not know.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the infamous Aykroyd getting a ghost beach.
Yeah.
And by the way, Aykroyd's orgasm face is forever burnt into my brain.
That's a fake orgasm face.
I would hope. I would assume. God, a Dan Aykroyd orgasm.
I mean,
Hamina.
I'm not mad about it.
Oh, sorry. I'll get the towel. I'm sorry. But really, that was actually a leftover scene that was cut. They were investigating Fort Detmering, and Ray and Winston had arrived and split up, and Ray falls asleep in the officers' quarters where we get this paranormal BJ scene. Ramis explained that the idea behind it was to give Ray a love interest of a long dead woman who would be like the seduction ghost, which they said they ended up cutting it because they were already like, that just makes the movie way longer.
It doesn't fit, yeah.
No, it doesn't fit. And as Aykroyd said in an interview, he was like, I don't miss anything that we didn't use. He was like, we made all the right cuts.
Right.
The ghost in the fort, the seduction ghost. And he said in paranormal research, it's a common thing. Ghosts doing sexual things to people. Aykroyd said, I have a friend who had 3 women visit him in a haunted house in Louisiana, and it was one of the greatest nights of his life. But in under 2 hours, you obviously can't have everything. Where's all this ghost sex everybody's having? That sounds fun.
I don't know. So I'm going to chalk it up to people are having wet dreams.
Yeah, you're probably fucking right, because you always hear that story of that girl getting fucking
Anna Nicole.
Right. Oh yeah, it was Anna Nicole, wasn't
yes.
it? Yeah, you were right. You said it earlier, where she got she was saying how she got railed by a ghost one night.
Yeah, I think she just had a wet dream.
Can you get an STI from a ghost? I mean, there's ectoplasm and stuff. Ooh. You think it's really slippery? Ooh. Just ectoplasm and all over your chest and shit.
I guess it can't be any more slippery than some cum. I don't know.
Get some Slimer on you. That would be my luck. See, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get me a ghost beach. This is gonna be great. And then fucking Slimer shows up. Oh God. Oh God. Brittany walks in on fucking Slimer just bending me over. There's the end of our marriage.
I could not look at you the same.
You're
right.
If you walked in and Slimer's going to town.
No, because I just imagine you liking it.
He's just eating a donut while he's doing it. It's terrible.
I just imagine you liking it.
Don't judge him.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay. The verdict's still out. I don't know. I haven't had sex with a ghost yet. We'll see.
You haven't even really had a wet dream before, have you?
I've never had a wet dream.
You're missing out.
I feel like it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm an overly sexual person, but no wet dreams ever.
I have them occasionally.
Really?
Yes. It's kind of nice.
Nice. Ghost. You're having ghost sex is what it is. It's Slimer.
Okay, that's what I'm going to say from now on. No, it's not Slimer. Oh my God, that's not what I meant.
Slimer's been cucking me this whole time. God damn it, Slimer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, let's stop warping the beloved Slimer in everybody's minds. Anyway, moving on.
So they're so busy with work that they end up hiring another guy to help them. This is Winston.
Fuck yeah. Enter Ernie Hudson as Winston Zedmore. I swear, Winston is like the Ringo of the Ghostbusters. He's there, but not really there, you know?
It's true.
It's sad. Now, Aykroyd did write the original draft, like I said, with Eddie Murphy in mind, but he was never seriously considered, or very much on board, mostly because, they had Bill Murray, and Columbia Pictures were placing all the appeal for people to go see this because of that. So if Eddie Murphy was, who was arguably a giant star at this point, Les Murray, if you would have had Eddie Murphy in this. Not that Columbia didn't want Eddie Murphy. They wouldn't have said no, but it would have been just, it would have been another giant name, for them. So that probably would have been even more money. But this was an ensemble movie, and Eddie Murphy turned it down because of that. A lot of stars don't want to share the spotlight with good reason, especially after a giant film like Beverly Hills Cop had come out.
Right. It's a little selfish to me, but okay.
And yeah. Well. So before Hudson was signed on, he auditioned like 5 times for this role before finally landing it. He was living in an apartment with his kids and stuff. And so he'd go home, every day, and it was just dragging on and stuff like that. And finally, when he got the role, he celebrated with his kids and stuff. They had a good time because in his mind, he was like, this is going to be so cool. This is probably going to change my life.
Right.
This role. And Ernie Hudson said the character, which is sad because it kind of didn't. Yeah, Ernie Hudson said the character when he got the role had an elaborate background. He was an Air Force major or something along those lines, and he had this long story involved in the plot. But the character, the day before shooting, Hudson got the script, and Winston was drastically cut down.
Oh,
yeah, the character had come in to the movie at page 8 on the screenplay,
right?
Originally, very early, but now he was at page 68. Which you're watching this movie.
Shit.
You're watching this movie, and you're like, there is a 4th Ghostbuster, right? And that's what's sad about it. Now, Reitman and Joe Medic, the associate producer, they kind of felt like having this character be so overqualified, it made the movie miss out on having an everyman. Now, this is their explanation. So they broke his character down to a character that would relate to the common man, someone who could ask the questions that the audience might have to these 3 parapsychologists.
Right.
Ernie Hudson, when he talks about this, you can tell he really wished they would have let him have that original character, that original story, to play Winston even better than what they gave him.
That's really sad.
Yeah, because my Lord, Winston is shit on in this franchise.
He's not even listed as a cast member on the main cast member list. Yeah,
it's kind of fucked up. I mean, on most of the posters you see, it's just 3, no Winston.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a 4th Ghostbuster.
That's not okay.
No, it's not.
Ernie Hudson figured this movie would launch his career, and it really kind of didn't. He had to get his career going on his own. Not in that way. It wasn't really in the way that Ernie Hudson thought it would. However, he doesn't hold a grudge, he said. And he said all the guys that he worked with were very inclusive. He chalks it up to probably studio interference and stuff like that because he said, I don't like to hold grudges, and I don't like to sit there and think the guy I'm working next to me screwed me out of my role or anything like that.
Right.
And Ernie Hudson himself doesn't blame racism for it either, even though it kind of looks that way.
It looks that way.
It looks
hardcore.
But, when you do consider, in his words, if it had been Eddie Murphy, the part probably wouldn't have been cut down in both movies because even in the sequel, it feels like Winston's even less in that sequel.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and that sequel came 5 years later, so you thought they would have fucking beefed his character up. But anyway, Although with Afterlife, and I'm hearing this next movie, Winston is probably going to have a much larger role in this fourth Ghostbusters, which it's about goddamn time, because when Afterlife came out, I assumed maybe we were giving Winston some airtime, but like even that movie kind of doesn't have him in it through the whole thing, and I got pissed off again. Because Winston would go on to be a fan favorite. You know, like a lot of people love Winston. Ernie Hudson said like he loves the fans. The fans is what he gets so excited to meet him, because he was like, it's great when somebody comes up to you and they have Winston on their leg or something as a tattoo.
Oh,
and
that's
he's like,
cool.
He's like, it's fucking spectacular. So it did change his life, but in a different way than what he thought it would.
Right. So Peter goes to see Dana, and she asks if he has any more information for her. He says that he found the name Zool for her, which refers to the demigod worshipped around 6000 BC. He then tries to ask her out, but she is reluctant until she finally agrees to sit down and talk with him about Zool.
Yeah, which is cool. I do enjoy like the backstory and stuff with these ghosts and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Zool and Gozer later on. It's pretty fucking cool. I like that kind of shit.
So they're all back at the office teaching the new guy, and then the EPA shows up. This is the
Environmental Protection Agency.
Oh, right. They're there to see Peter.
Yeah.
The man wants to know where they keep the ghosts, and Peter is giving him the runaround because he does not trust this guy at all. And the guy tells him that he wants to know basically the environmental impact that this job has.
Yeah. Like what's the waste and stuff like that. And man, the 80s where the bad guy was the Environmental Protection Agency. Possibly one of the greatest things Nixon ever did in his presidency. The Environmental Protection Agency, which, you know, history has reversed. I believe the Environmental Protection Agency is once again the bad guy, isn't it?
Probably.
Now, playing the lead guy here, the EPA is William Atherton, one of the greatest on-screen assholes of all fucking time. While Atherton was acting before, after this, he'd play a slew of assholes on screen, like in Real Genius, Die Hard 1 and 2, Biodome to a lesser extent. But he also had roles in between and after all this. But it was this role that most people my age remember him for. In fact, after this movie, people would see Atherton in bars and shit and try to pick fights with him and call him dickless.
Oh, wow.
It kind of fucked him up.
That's not very nice.
Like Ivan Reitman ran into him on the street and Atherton was like, that fucking ruined my life for a minute, man.
Do people not know that these aren't?
I guess they really assumed he really did try to bust some wisecracking ghost hunters. I don't know where people's minds are.
People are stupid.
What could you imagine? Could you imagine being so dumb that you're in a bar and you just had some liquor on you and you're like, there's that asshole trying to shut down the Ghostbusters. I'm gonna get him. Hey, Dickless. Like, what the fuck? Hey, Atherton, just punches him in the face. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's sad. So Dana's heading to her apartment, and her neighbor, Lewis, invites her to a party that he's having right now. And she tells him that she has a date.
Oh, that's okay. You can bring him. I love Lewis. He's such a lovable loser.
He's a little crush.
And like the running gag is he keeps getting locked out of his fucking party.
So he gets locked out of his own party. So when Dana goes in to sit down and relax, she ends up getting attacked by these creatures. Then at the party, this is where there's this ghost thing, but it comes in and just fucks things up and then chases Lewis down the road, like out of the apartment building, down the road.
Which again, I'm laughing my fucking balls off at this because he's like, "All right, who brought the dog?"
Right.
And yeah, this devil dog thing.
It's a devil dog. That's what
pretty
it's called.
Great, man. I don't know. You know, the one thing which is really great, I never hear anyone complain about the effects in this movie.
Right.
And you know, like Ivan Reitman said when he released that rough cut, nobody cared because like you have so much comedy and so much other things you're grasping onto. You forgive the little technical defaults that this movie has.
Oh, yeah. So Peter goes to see Dana for their date or whatever this is, and she's looking a little weird.
Just like floating and shit.
Right. She asks if he is the keymaster and tells him that she is Zool, saying she is the gatekeeper waiting on the coming of Gozer the Destructor. Zool then tries to seduce Peter, but he's not really going for it since she's possessed.
Yeah, because
which is nice. He's waiting for her consent.
Yeah, Peter is actually a little bit of a gentleman in this situation because he could
Only in
definitely
this situation.
try to fuck Zool.
Right, right. And he says that he wants to talk to Dana, but Zool keeps saying, no, Dana, only Zool.
So now you get that reference that
I
people do.
do.
Yeah.
Because that was Kim's name on Twitter for a long time.
Long-time listener, Kim.
No, Kim, only Zool.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's from a movie. I don't know what movie it's from.
I don't know movie references.
But that's okay. And then we see Lewis running down the street saying that he is the keymaster.
I love it. And again, like everything that fucking Rick Moranis does in this movie is fucking hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
Even when he's running for his life from this fucking demon dog earlier on, when he goes to like the tavern on the green and hits the window.
Yes. And nobody helps him.
Everybody's just watching. But yeah, when he's the keymaster, that's when he runs into that fucking horse. Don't worry, all the slaves will be free.
So the police end up taking Lewis to the Ghostbusters office, is what I'm calling it, because they don't know what to do with him. Egon takes him in, and he's running a test on Lewis. And Janine is hitting on Egon the whole time.
I love it. I wish they would have kept this going because they drop it in the sequel.
Oh,
They drop Egon and Janine's relationship. Because in this movie, you feel like they're hitting it off. They like each other a lot, even though Egon has a problem showing emotion.
Right. Which
I love that about his character. So there was even a deleted scene where she gives him this like coin, the special coin and stuff like that, which they ended up using in Ghostbusters Afterlife to reestablish that relationship the two had.
Right.
Because like I said, in the sequel, it was weird because the studio decided that Janine should be with Lewis, which is odd. But they're like, oh, well, they're going to get those two nerds together. They're going to get those nerds. I don't know what the fuck their idea of that was, because clearly Janine had a thing for Egon, but they drop it. And I think they kind of pick it up a little bit in the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I love that on Lewis's head, they have a fucking spaghetti strainer.
Right.
Because the idea, Harold Ramis said we should probably go as wacky as possible.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the equipment and stuff.
So Janine is scared that Lewis is going to kill Egon or whatever, even though he's just like walking around being weird as shit, okay?
Yeah.
So Peter then calls Egon and talks to him about Dana and the situation there, and they agree to keep them separate for now, because they're smart enough to know.
Yeah,
she's looking for the keymaster.
Yeah, if they have sex, basically, it brings upon the thing. Well, it's implied, I mean,
right?
But later, Lewis gets lucky. It appears. So if we just get this guy laid, we'll all be okay.
Right? No, you won't.
Nope. So while Rick Moranis plays Lewis Tully fucking fantastically, like we've already said, the role was originally meant for John Candy. Now, Candy, after reading the script, he kind of turned it down because he never really quite understood the character. Okay. And he kind of wanted to play him as his character from SCTV, which again, you guys got to look up the old SCTV stuff because it's fucking hilarious. Like that shit was so fucking funny. But he had this character, Johnny LaRue, who was this kind of corrupt politician type character. Very funny if you've never seen the old SCTV sketches. It's very funny. And he also like thought about playing him as a German with like these German shepherds and shit like that. Like I was like a Nazi. That would have been weird, John Candy.
That's a little strange.
Would have been weird to add to Ghostbusters. But yeah, so he turned it down, and Rick Moranis just took this role and ran with it, man. That scene at the party, all improvised.
That's awesome.
That entire scene was pretty much all improvised, and he would add stuff to his dialogue, like even the actual dialogue that he speaks, like in the hallway when he's talking to Sigourney Weaver. A lot of that was improv, and she wasn't really prepared for it. So there is a scene where you can see her trying not to crack up.
Right.
It's the scene where she smiles real big.
Right.
And that's the scene they went with, but that's her actually laughing at the shit he's saying.
She's not expecting it at all.
No.
So now we're with Ray and Winston, and they're driving, and they're talking religion.
Yeah.
Winston thinks that there is such an influx of activity, ghost activity for them, because the dead are rising.
I mean, at least Winston gets a little time here.
Right.
That's pretty nice.
So basically they're saying it's like the ending of times.
Yeah.
So the next day the EPA shows up.
Dun, 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 the EPA.
With a police officer and electrician or some shit to shut down the operation.
Uh-huh.
They want everything turned off because of the environmental violations.
Yeah, because, Atherton is not sold on the fucking whole ghost thing. He thinks this is all fucking made up.
Right. So Peter shows up at this time, and he's trying to further explain to them that they can't turn off this machine. That something bad is going to happen if they do that, because that releases the ghost.
That's a big Twinkie.
Yes. But they go and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And this makes the building kind of blow up and come out. All the ghosts are coming out of the roof of the building.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking up New York.
This is fun, man.
Yes.
I love when the guy gets in the fucking taxi and it's a zombie. The fucking zombie drives off with him.
And this also awakens Zool.
Yeah.
So the men end up getting arrested, and Ray is telling them about the apartment building. They have like these blueprints in this jail for some reason. They got to bring their blueprints. I don't get that.
I don't know. It never bothered me, I guess. I don't. It's just one of those scenes in Ghostbusters that I was like, okay, I'll go with it. It's fine.
Right.
Because you do get the gag where like all the prisoners are gathered around like they're fucking. Because I love like Bill Murray is like, all right, is everybody getting that? You all?
Right. The apartment building that Dana lives in has a special roof that draws the ghosts in to that building. And they also have a door to the other world.
Yeah, it was built like by this fucking crazy cultist, like Ivan Shandor, who they kind of explore more in Afterlife a little bit. J.K. Simmons gets to play him.
Oh, cool. I don't know about this. But they're going to use this portal or whatever to take over.
Yeah.
So then they get a call from the mayor. They don't get a call. The police come and get them and say the mayor has requested to talk to them. You can't laugh.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is serious. This is Ghostbusters, you guys. We got to be very serious about this serious movie.
So serious. Seriously.
Oh, but again, you'd really think the Ghostbusters should be a paid utility at this point, and I would assume
like a bill that you pay every month so that they can come out and exterminate.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. So Lewis makes his way to Dana in this building and they start to make out, and it's so funny. It
is fucking hysterical.
It is
because you got Rick Moranis making out with up next to Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver looks like a fucking Amazon.
That's what I was going to say. It's two of him tall.
Yeah. Which is the gag. That's the joke. Right. Oh, fuck.
And they highly imply that they're fucking.
Oh, yeah, because he wakes up, his hair's all fucked up, his pants are undone. Yeah, later on, they definitely got it on.
Oh, yeah. So the men are at the mayor's office when the EPA shows up, and Peter makes a joke about him being dickless.
I love it. This is one of the best jokes in the whole entire movie because like he fucking comes in and they call him dickless, and then like the mayor's like asks the question and he's like, "It is true. This man has no dick."
Right.
He's like, well, that's what I heard.
Right. So then a fight breaks out, kind of. Well, they break it up. And a religious leader dude comes in.
You fucking Cardinal, Lenny, the fucking Cardinal comes in.
He's like, the church what did he say? The church has no opinion on this or whatever.
Which is weird because you'd think you would.
Right.
Ghosts are run amok in the street. Like, shouldn't the Catholics be doing something?
They're busy.
I mean, we see the rabbis later. They're at least doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're trying.
They were praying.
Yeah, they're praying. They're Jew magic, I guess. I don't.
The Catholics are busy right now.
Oh, that's true. They got a lot of boys to worry about.
Right. So they're all trying to figure out if this is all real, ghosts and all of that. And Peter bargains with the mayor, and he says that if they are right, that the Ghostbusters will turn themselves into the jail, like if ghosts aren't real,
Yeah,
or whatever. And if they are right, if the Ghostbusters are right, then then the mayor has saved the lives
yeah.
of millions of registered voters.
And again, Ernie Hudson gets a lot of the good lines too, like where he's sitting here. I love it. He's like, I've seen shit that'll turn you white.
Right. Well, anyway, so the mayor agrees because he sees vote, and he's like, he hears vote, and he's like, oh wait, I need all the votes I can get.
Which you got Peter convincing him because dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Right. So, and the mayor also says, whatever you need, we will get it.
Yeah. Which is weird because the mayor does not believe them again in part 2. I don't know. Part 2 has its issues. Let's go on. But because Columbia put that, that schedule on Rush, the shooting schedule, Reitman had no choice but to edit this while they were shooting.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There was very few times they could reshoot this. The first full cut, like I said, was completed 3 weeks after filming was complete.
Oh, wow.
And for a movie so special effect laden, that's fucking crazy when you think about it. I think this whole entire thing was fueled by coke.
Had to have been.
Had to have been. Had to have been so much cocaine being. That was the ghosts. At one point, I bet they were like, if we just kind of blow this cocaine around, that could be a ghost.
Ooh,
I just imagine the effects team had like a mountain of cocaine on a desk like Tony Montana, just fucking trying to get through this shit.
I'm getting a little sleepy, guys.
Okay, go put your face in the coke. Come back when you're done. I'm ready to make Ghostbusters. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
So the men show up to the building, the apartment building or whatever, and there's like a slew of people outside.
Oh, yeah.
They're so excited. They're fans.
It's the Ghostbusters.
Right. And Peter is like kissing people's hands.
Oh, he's fucking playing it up. I love it.
Like he's a fucking celebrity. And then I didn't really appreciate this part right here, but the ground like has like an earthquake or something, and then they like fall through, and you think that maybe they'll be dead, and then they're not dead.
It's just a little piece of action, because we haven't had much action yet for the most part. So they just kind of throw this in to get, bring up the stakes. Because, we're having a 9/11 event, a pre 9/11 with this. So, just trying to make it more dangerous, because have we seen the Ghostbusters face too much danger?
No.
Up until this point? So that's kind of what it's there for. Plus,
it's annoying.
Plus, I appreciate the fact that it's just, that happens, they get up, everybody cheers, and we're good.
Right.
Like, instead of like, today we would have had a whole fucking scene of them in the ground getting out, and it just would have been a whole fucking thing, but we're not doing that.
Right. So you cannot tell me from this what I'm about to say, okay? You cannot tell me this is not a fucking comedy. They go in this fucking building, and they have to walk up 22 flights of stairs.
I fucking love it because they stop at one point. They're like, where are we? I don't know, in the teens somewhere. Like Peter's like, oh, good. Well, when we get there, let me know so I can throw up. Not a comedy, though.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. So they make it to the roof, and Dana and Lewis are there transforming into these creatures. But before they do, they fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just like laying there like...
Sigourney Weaver's looking hot as fuck. Oh, my God. But, I miss lightning effects like you see in this movie. You know, that cool, really super bright lightning?
Yes.
I don't know. They don't do that anymore in movies because, like, when there's lightning, it looks too realistic to me. I don't know. I like a little bit of fun. Again, I enjoy fun. I don't know what everybody else's issue is.
But you like the special effects and stuff, or not the practical effects.
Well, yeah, and there's something charming about the old school 80s lightning. You know, you saw that in cartoons too.
Oh, yeah.
Like the old Transformers cartoons used it a lot. It was, I think it's stereoscope is what they call it. I can't remember. It has a name, the type of lightning they use, because it's like really bright neon kind of special effects.
Are you going to use it in your movie?
I don't know. There's not. I already ripped off the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper for my movie, so I don't know. I should probably keep the rip-offs a little on the medium side.
So then Gozer shows up, and this is a very Bowie-looking person.
Definitely, because that's what they were going for.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, she ends up zapping them all, like knocks them all the fuck down.
Yeah, I love that because. Are you a god? And Ray, no.
And then when they get back up, he goes, never tells.
Yeah, if someone asks if you're a god, Ray, you say yes. And now the role of Gozer, the Gozerian, the Sumerian god, was originally intended for Paul Rubens, of all people. Pee Wee Herman himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
that would not have
because
been...
the idea was to have Gozer take on the form of Ivan Shandor, who designed the building and, you know, was the cultist and stuff that led up to all this. But Paul Rubens turned it down. He passed on the idea, and so they brought in Yugoslavian actress Slavica Jovan. She was cast, and then the characters. Features were also changed to be more inspired. They actually took inspiration from the androgynous appearance of people like Grace Jones and David Bowie, of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The voice of Gozer is actually Patty Edwards. She goes uncredited, however. There's a lot of voices in this movie that people applied to. The voice of Slimer was actually Ivan Reitman.
Oh, okay. Okay. They just can't give credit to anybody where credit's due.
There was so much. Like I said, fucking Rick Moranis is technically a writer on this movie for the amount of dialogue he added.
So the guys regroup and they go to zap Gozer, but she just is flipping around and shit.
It's pretty fucking cool. And I love the visuals in this scene. I believe this was a 50,000 square foot fucking set piece here. And it required so much power. They had to shut down other sets around them in the Columbia Studios.
Well, that would piss me off.
They're right. But who was filming around the time as Ghostbusters was filming? That's what I want to know.
So she then disappears, but you can hear her voice, and she tells them to choose their destroyer. Peter tells them to clear their minds because what they think is going to come up and destroy them.
Yeah,
so just clear
anything they think will be the chosen destructor that's going to come kill them all. So he's like, the easiest thing to do is clear your minds. Don't think of anything. We got her if we do that.
Right. Well, that didn't happen because
Ray immediately fucks up.
Yes. The first thing that he thought of was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Now, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a point of contention for Ivan Reitman. He was a little worried because this sequence goes exactly how they wrote it in the screenplay. But Ivan Reitman was a little worried that this giant marshmallow man rampaging through the city would be a little too unbelievable for audiences.
Yeah.
After so much of this movie has been kind of, for the most part, toned down to realism and stuff like that. So he was a little worried about that. But I wonder if when they were working on this, could they have seen the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man going on to be as popular as he is?
I don't know.
Because you think of Ghostbusters and immediately your mind goes to Stay Puft or the Ecto-1, but Stay Puft is right there.
Sure.
You're still mad because I bought a lot of marshmallows.
Why do you need 6 bags of marshmallows that you're not going to eat?
So Afterlife came out and Walmart did a tie-in with their campfire marshmallows where they had bags of Stay Puft marshmallows. Looks like they come from the movie. And so I thought I thought that if I bought a lot of these, then maybe I could sell them and fund my movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're worth $10 a piece right now. So they're going up. I paid $1. So they're $10 a piece. I would say my investment was well worth it. That's $60 of marshmallows we have in our cabinet.
Well, maybe you should sell them then.
Well, we prefer to go up a little bit more, you know? You never know. We might be sending our kids to college with my Stay Puft marshmallows.
I'm sure that's what my parents thought about the Beanie Babies, too.
I'm sure that's what people thought about Billy Beer. You know, and I never do that. I never invest in shit like that because I know for a fact that every fat ass schmo is buying up Stay Puft marshmallows and it's driving the price down. Just like with the Death of Superman comics. Every fucking Mitch Hardapple went out and bought a Death of Superman comic, so now they're worth like maybe $30.
I don't know what to tell you. You contributed to it, so you done fucked up.
Well, I have Stay Puft marshmallows, so I'm seeing it as a win.
We can have some s'mores.
That's true. They
At our
got to
house.
be expired by now, right? It's been a little while since that movie came out. But anyway.
No, it's been less than a year.
Okay, so they're probably still good, you know.
I mean,
some
they
Stay
might be a
Puft in
little.
there. I think I have one of the bags of mini Stay Puft. But anyway,
You
Stay
just
Puft.
bought everything? Oh my God. Hold on.
I got excited.
So then all of a sudden, this giant marshmallow man is walking through New York, fucking shit up. And when he gets close.
Very seriously.
Yes.
How is that not a joke to anybody?
They could have had Godzilla. They could have had King Kong.
They got the big old marshmallow man. I love
The
it.
marshmallow.
I fucking love it.
Yes. So when he gets closer to them, they end up roasting him
I love it that they use the word roast.
with the lasers.
Again, not a joke. Not a joke.
No.
But I still love how fucking straight-laced Econ is. Because, like, Peter's like, you got any ideas? And he's like, no, I'm terrified beyond belief right now. It's like, are you?
So this just makes him catch fire. And this just makes me want a burnt marshmallow. Anyway.
Oh, man. A big old crusty burnt marshmallow. That
we could
sounds
make
delicious.
those when we're done here.
That's true. We got the Stay Puft.
Right.
See, my investment is already paying off.
No, it's not.
Although I don't think we should eat them. I think I should save them for the future. So why are you divorcing this gentleman? He invested in marshmallows.
I will eat every one of those motherfuckers.
You probably shouldn't. I don't know. Like, I don't trust the brand. I don't know the state. It's a movie.
It's just a fucking marshmallow.
It's true.
You hear anybody die over a marshmallow?
I feel, Stay Puft. He looks pretty angry.
You just don't want me to eat those fucking
I
marshmallows.
don't. Please don't eat the marshmallows. I put them up high so you can't reach them. No Lee, only Zool.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so mad. Here's the papers for you.
God damn it.
I've
I
decided.
knew it'd be Ghostbusters, the episode that gets me divorced.
Anyway, so the Marshmallow Man's on fire,
Mm.
and this just pisses him off.
I will say that he looks fucking scary when his face turns from happy to angry.
Right.
It is a little upsetting.
Yes. So Egon tells them that they need to cross streams now to try and make this work because
Right.
this Marshmallow Man's so fucking big, right?
Yeah, so they can combine power, basically.
Right. So they're like, what? You told us not to do that. And now you're making us do that. What the fuck? It's okay. It's okay. So they end up doing that, and it makes the Marshmallow Man blow up. But he just splooges marshmallow all over town.
It's great. So, like, they destroy the entrance and everything with this power burst, and boom, the fucking Stay Puft is destroyed into a giant splooge of goo. Marshmallow everywhere. Now, the Stay Puft costumes cost around $20,000 a piece, and they destroyed all three of them in the making of this film. I mean, it's obviously just some dude in a Stay Puft costume walking around. It's not,
Right.
They didn't
In like a
construct
miniature.
a giant
Yeah.
Stay Puft. Why did I explain that it's a dude in a suit? Why would no one understand that it was a dude in a suit?
Well, you know what? I did not think about it being a dude in a suit. I thought it was more like
Like a puppet or something?
like CGI or something.
I understand. Yeah. I understand. Did you know the Stay Puft was a suit, not a real giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
You just couldn't rent a State Puft Marshmallow?
Oh, yeah. I had those laying around. It was Hollywood. It's just giant Stay Puffs.
Anyway. So everything seems to be cleared. And Peter looks around and Dana, well, the devil dogs.
Yeah, they're all, because they turned into statues again and they
Yeah.
like fell down. So you assume.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit, Dana's dead,
Yeah.
right? Until she just like bursts through
Yeah, because
this
you get hit
thing.
with another story from Dan Aykroyd.
Right.
Oh, Peter, I'm sorry.
But she's alive. She's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And so is Lewis. He's good too. So they all walk out of the building as heroes. And of course, Peter and Dana kiss.
And Ernie Hudson gets the final line. I love this town. I love that. Winston isn't a big character, but he does have like the best lines throughout this movie.
Oh,
he really does. That may have been because of Bill Murray. Actually, a few of those were supposed to be Bill Murray's lines, but while they were filming, Murray would stop and say, "Hey, what about Ernie here?"
Give the man some fucking lines.
Shouldn't he have a line? Hudson said Bill would look after him on set a lot. So they had a great time.
Nice.
But yes, they do end as heroes, and all of New York is cheering, including Ron Jeremy behind that barricade. Ron Jeremy is in this scene. There is a lot of extra work in this movie that if you've never paid attention, I love doing this to movies I've seen over and over again. Start looking at the extras in Ghostbusters because there are some people giving it their all. Like when they're first going into the building, there's a guy like in the background in this suit and he looks like from Flock of Seagulls or something, but he is like jumping up and down for no reason. Like he's giving it his all.
That's awesome.
And a few scenes, like, the big thing was like a lot of these scenes that were in the New York streets were shot without permits. So there's a lot of guerrilla filmmaking on this movie as well. So like there's a few extras that like don't look like they knew they were going to be in a Ghostbusters movie.
So yes, I was telling you about that. So when Peter goes to see Dana, when she's walking out of the building or whatever, behind him, there's a fucking dude. He's like a hippie dude. He's got like long hair and he's just staring at the camera.
And that guy was also behind a news reporter earlier.
Oh, really?
Like he's just like looking into the camera. Like, what the fuck is this hippie dude?
Right?
Is this an unused plot thread?
I don't know. I was just like, I was kind of distracted by it.
There's some amazing extra work in this movie. Now, do we really need to go through it? I mean, Ghostbusters was a fucking revolution when it hit theaters, dude. This thing created some craziness. The premiere was June 7th, 1984 in Westwood, Los Angeles, and released widely the following day across U.S. and Canada. The first weekend, it made $13.6 million. That's an estimate.
Shit.
It finished at number 1 ahead of Gremlins and Indiana Jones. It was released the same day as Gremlins, in fact. Temple of Doom was the Indiana Jones movie it beat out. Now, its first week, it made an estimate of about $23 million. And it fucking stayed that way for 7 total weeks, grossing around $146 million estimate in its theatrical run before being knocked out by Purple Rain, of all things.
Wow.
Over the years, this one movie, this one comedy that no one really had faith in at the beginning has now created a $1 billion franchise. I mean, you have toys, you have cartoons, you have clothing, books, comics, action figures. Anything you can has a ghost symbol on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere. And, busting makes us all feel good, right?
You didn't have to say
The
that.
eye roll you just did could not have been harder. But anyway, except for some pockets of insane fanboys, you know. Those people are fucking out of their minds.
What do you call them?
Ghost Bros.
Ghost Bros.
Yeah, because they're like the same thing you get with like fans of like Star Wars. You know, for some reason they don't like anything released after the 80s. I don't know what it is. That 2016 fucking Ghostbusters remake or requel or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like there was death threats to the studio.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is
There
the
was
point in
literal
that?
death threats because, you know, women ain't supposed to be Ghostbusters. Yeah. So Ghostbusters.
people.
Yeah, I know. They're all fucking morons who live in their basements. It's okay. Now, Ghostbusters did have 2 sequels, including Ghostbusters 2, which came out. The problem with Ghostbusters 2 is I feel like it came out way too late because it took 5 years to get that up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it came out in 1987. Well, it started filming, I think, in 87. It came out in 88, I think. And, of course, the remake in 2016. And, of course, 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Or 22. I can't remember what year. Was that 2022 that Ghostbusters Afterlife came out? From 2020 to now, everything's a blur on
Right.
what happened. But Afterlife came out sometime around this.
Right.
Which would be technically the part 3, you know, to the Ghostbusters original timeline. Before I say anything incendiary that pisses off the masses, I'll tell you this. I've enjoyed every Ghostbuster movie for what it is. Even that 2016 reboot. I thought it was great. I had a good time watching it in the theater. Did it have problems? Totally.
Right.
I had a lot of problems, but it was still funny and I had a good time. But I really don't think at the end of the day, this movie should have had any sequels.
Oh, shit.
Don't think this movie should have sequels because each sequel is just, I mean, how do you capture this again? You know, how do you recreate this? It's the same thing with like Terminator 2, you know. I know that's a weird out there thing, but you know, Terminator 1, horror movie, whatever, but Terminator 2 was this big groundbreaking movie and every sequel after it is still trying to capture that and it just never succeeds.
Right.
What Ghostbusters has going for it, the franchise in its entirety, it's a comedy.
Right.
You know, I mean, and comedy sequels have never been my bag anyway. I don't ever find comedy sequels that great.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at the Hangover franchise. Why were there 2 extra movies?
Yeah, like we heard the jokes.
Yeah, you can't.
We've
There's
been
only
there.
so many times you're going to repeat the same shit because that's what you're having done. And,
Right.
And the 2016 remake was mind-boggling to me because I was like, why are you remaking a comedy? That's weird. But but you know, I enjoy those movies for what they are. I think they all have something for them. They're all fun and it's fine. And it's important to remember for some of you that get a little fucking weird about this, that it's a comedy. It's a movie. It's fun.
Just have fun with it.
But it's not religion. Let's calm down a little bit, you know? Yeah, which, by the way, like I said, that sequel, it has its issues, but it's still fun. You know?
Right.
But that's another show. You know, we'll talk about those movies when we get to them on this program. But to me, Ghostbusters is timeless. I mean, aside from people smoking in every room they're in, it feels just as relevant. You know, it's good. It's still funny today as it was probably when it came out.
Right.
You know, it still has the same amount of fun even now. You know, it is one of those movies where I've seen it so many times. It's one of those things where I don't have to sit down and watch it all the time.
Right.
Because I've seen this a million fucking times. I've lost count for how many times I've seen Ghostbusters, you know? And it's fascinating to me because when you put this down on paper, it should have never worked out this way.
Right.
This movie should have never created such a giant fucking $1 billion empire. Like this one comedy. That's insane
But
to me.
here we are.
Yeah, but thanks to Ivan Reitman, the cast, the crew, and the writing, of course, of the late, great Harold Ramis, and the paranormal knowledge and background of Dan Aykroyd, it's not just one of the greatest 80s movies. It's possibly, in my book, one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Okay.
I'm just saying it still makes me laugh. I'm laughing my
right.
tits off at this movie. I understand. They had the tools and they had the talent. And I'll settle the debate right now. Ghostbusters to me is a comedy. It's a paranormal comedy. That's what you got from me. That's what I'm leaving.
Comedy.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
paranormal comedy, but it's a comedy. God damn it. It is a comedy.
Okay. How many times are you going to say that?
A lot. But anyway, we have heard plenty from me. Plenty. Like I said, I had so many notes for this. I was sitting here writing notes and realized we were going on like 2 episodes worth of fucking knowledge I had on this fucking movie. So I had to cut it down as much as I could. So
Right.
Brittany wouldn't divorce me. And she's been a lovely trooper sitting through this. But so let's get to you. And I'm going to ask you, what did you think of 1984's Ghostbusters? And don't hold back. Fuck them Ghost Bros.
Fuck them Ghost Bros.
You come out swinging.
I was sitting here debating on how I was going to put this, okay?
Okay.
I will probably not watch this movie again.
Oh, they're getting their pitchforks ready. They're lighting their torches.
It was funny in parts, yes. I felt like it needed more. Like I needed more explanation, I guess. I don't know. As much as the dialogue felt fluid, like it felt organic and all of that, the comedy that we talked about feels organic. I don't know, ghost busting is just not a real thing, obviously.
Bustin' does not make Brittany feel good.
Oh my god, shut up. I don't know. Maybe it's just beyond. Maybe it just went over my head. I don't know. It's just not my kind of movie.
I understand.
It did not catch my interest.
I see, and that's where I want you to watch that 2000 reboot. You know, just to see if that's something that catches your interest. Because I feel like the people that this movie lost, the people that don't get into this movie, I do feel like they got into that 2016 movie. And it's kind of sad because you watch some of these people online and they're like, I wanted a sequel to that too. Like, I wanted to see that story continue as well. Where are we at? You know, it's kind of sad because you got the fans of that 2016 reboot, and even Bill Murray and everybody said, you know, it was fine. It was a good movie. They made little cameos in the movie too,
right?
You know, like.
But here's the thing: I saw more of that one than I saw of this one ever,
which is wild. That's wild to me
because the kids were watching it or whatever.
Yeah, that movie was very much more for kids, I would
Right.
say. You know, it's more for them. Which I will say, you know, I think the one thing, and again, I'm going to piss off a lot of people here, but I think that cartoon kind of ruined it. Like, you know, I love the cartoon too, you guys. Again, I love everything about this franchise. It's great.
Right.
All of it's great. I have a good time with everything. But I do think the cartoon kind of corrupted it a little bit, because if you watch this movie and then you watch everything after it, everything is more geared towards that cartoon and more family friendly and everything going forth.
Okay.
You know, to the point where in Afterlife you have a lot of kid power shit.
Okay. Well, here's
Except for Muncher. That thing is like a porno parody waiting to happen. It's taking the chrome off of a fucking that thing's sunken and munching across the universe. I can't even explain it.
Oh my gosh. No, but no, I saw more of the remake than I saw of this one, and it went to sleep. It was just I don't know. I don't know why it just doesn't do
It's
it for
okay.
me.
You're not talking to one of these internet.
No, I know. And I'm not it's not that
I'm not going to sit here and try to get you to like Ghostbusters.
No, I understand that. But like it's neutral to me. If someone's watching it, then I'm not going to make fun of them.
I put it on the same level as, like, you know, Ghostbusters is on the same level as like Batman, if you don't enjoy Batman, any Batman movie is not going to be the greatest film ever made to you.
Right.
Because you don't like Batman.
Right.
I mean, if you don't like the idea of Ghostbusters and this doesn't like vibe with you, you're never going to like any Ghostbuster property because it's all basically the same thing.
Right.
Is it a little too silly for you? Is that what the deal was, or?
I guess so. I don't know. It just didn't. It was funny. It was a fine movie to watch, but people just fucking praising it and shit. Like you're talking about it and all that. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's a perfectly reasonable fucking answer. I mean, again, I can't explain why this movie means so much to me. It is definitely a nostalgia trip. You know, because most of the people like me who were praising this movie grew up with it. You know, we grew up watching, even if it came out before our time, we still grew up watching it because it was one of those movies that just fell into interest and we could watch it with our parents, you know, because my parents loved Bill Murray and all those old, you know, the comedians and stuff like that. They loved it for that. I loved it because it was spooky and it was funny. And, you know, I grew up watching Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd and all these guys. Right. You know, so it's totally a nostalgia trip. And I think the reason why a lot of the newer, you know, anything that comes after is lesser because I'm not sold on nostalgia as much as everybody else, you know?
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Ghostbusters is the greatest movie. And if you don't like it, you're a piece of shit. You know, I'm not that kind of person. I understand why you wouldn't vibe with it. And maybe it does have to do with the fact that you didn't watch it when you were younger.
That's what I was about to say too, is I think maybe when I was younger, I might have liked it, but now.
Because I was one of those kids who really loved it because it's dudes fighting ghosts with laser weapons. That was fun to me. You know, that's a lot of fun. And so, but now I think I appreciate it on a whole different level, on a comedic level. I appreciate it because there's so many jokes that I missed when I was younger. Right. You know, that I see this and I'm like, oh man, that's a really smart joke. And shit
and
like
you
that.
know, I could really see, like, if I watched it when I was younger, I liked it, and then watching it as an adult and liking it even more for the jokes, because I've seen movies like that before.
Right.
And I really appreciate those movies that can cater to the children and the adults.
Yeah, totally.
I like that.
This is definitely one of those movies, too.
Yeah, because then you can relate to it at any age, and I like that. But this just, I don't know. I don't get the hype.
Like I said, I really do think it's a lot of nostalgia. Like it's very nostalgic driven. And we talk about nostalgia on this show where like, it's great. Nostalgia's fun. Like it's such a fun thing.
Oh yeah.
But some people take it way too seriously, you know? And so
it ruined my childhood.
Yeah, so like people could hear you talking about this like right now and fucking threaten to kill you over it. I don't get the disconnect there. Like I hear somebody doesn't like Ghostbusters, I don't jump to guns. Like
you're allowed to not like things. Actually, yeah, you're allowed to not like things. It's okay.
Yeah, totally.
Just like you're allowed to like things.
I'm sure some of our listeners do not like Ghostbusters very much.
I don't believe you on that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know, you know, like I'm saying, but I think, but in the end, like I said, I really do think this first one is the strongest of the bunch. It's always going to be that way.
That's because that's how most franchises are.
No, totally. And anything that comes after, I'm still just kind of,
I'll watch.
I will say,
You're
I cried.
like,
Yeah, Afterlife had me crying like a fucking baby at the end. Though I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But whoo,
I remember you telling me
fuck. I was pissed off. I was like, God damn, Ghostbusters got me crying. I'm crying during Ghostbusters. I love this. I love the whole franchise. Like I said, even that I wish people would get off 2016's reboot's dick. Like, please stop hating on that. You know, a lot of people love it. And I love that. I love that a lot of people are on the same page as me. They like that. I would love for there to exist a sequel to that one and all this other stuff. You know,
right.
I why not? You know, Marvel's doing that shit.
Right.
Marvel's doing all that shit. Why don't you do this? You know?
You could do it too.
And it's a fucking comedy. But that's Ghostbusters from 1984. I got to tell you, I had a fucking ball with this. I'm so glad we finally sat down to talk about this movie because, like I said, it was a big part of my childhood, and I'm sure it's a big part of everybody else's childhood. Sound off. Do you like Ghostbusters? Do you not like Ghostbusters? Contact us on Twitter. I sounded like I was drunk there at the end, but but now. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. But next week, let's get back to some fucking horror. How's that sound? Like some real fucking horror. So next week, we're gonna break the mold here. We're gonna do a new horror movie.
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna do a new horror movie because I really want to talk about this director more on this show. So I'm going to break the seal with this. We're going to do Ty West's X, which came out pretty fucking recently. So make sure if you haven't seen X, be sure to either watch it. Hopefully you've seen it. I know a lot of the listeners that listen to our program have seen it already, so that's why I'm doing it. It's such a new movie, But I can't wait for you to watch this. Like, this is... we bitch and we complain that there's no sex in these horror movies that come out, and I gotta tell you, Ty West delivers. So
nice.
That's right. So until next week, I'm just thinking about a scene for the movie. So until next week, when we go on a porno shoot in the worst possible location, I'm Lee Evans. And stay spooky.
And I'm Brittany. Stay horrific.
Bustin' makes us feel good.
The Forge Papers.
I'm afraid no ghosts. Thanks for listening. To get a hold of us and submit your stories, fan mail, and death threats, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and nightofthehorrorfile.com. Our theme song was written and performed by John Brennan, used with permission. Find John at shopjb.bandcamp.com and at badtechno.com. If you like what you hear, leave a good review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show on your social media. See you next week.